Hi, it's Darnell with Way Over Recipes, and this is my review of the Ninja Air Fryer Pro 4-in-1. So let's go ahead and get it unboxed. Alright, so it's a basket air fryer, so pretty simple as far as what it comes with. Within the basket air fryer there's a crisper rack there, and that's really it for cooking accessories. It does come with a little bit of paperwork. They've got a quick start guide. Quick start guide has a number of recipes. Let's see how many pages the book is. And let's see here. Try and get to that last page. Yeah, it's 29 pages. No, actually it's 31 pages. 31 pages. And I believe there's some cooking charts. Yeah, there's some cooking charts in there as well. Also, you get the manual. So there that is. And the cooker is 1750 watts. So 1750 watts. That is the high end of wattage. For a small air fryer like this, 1750 is going to give you a pretty strong output. It should be able to put in a lot of good work. And so I'm a little surprised, but it has a two-prong polarized cord, not a dedicated ground wire cord, but we'll see how things perform with that. And that's not to say that things are going to perform any differently with a cooker that has a dedicated ground wire or not, but I just personally prefer dedicated ground wires. The cooker has 4 cooking functions, and the temperature ranges for the cooker, well, they don't give you the minimum, but we'll check. It goes up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. The time ranges, they don't give you details on that, but we'll check that later. The dimensions of the cooker are 14.84 inches in depth, 11.29 inches in width, and 10.39 inches in height. It's a 5-quart capacity cooker, and they say that it can hold up to 4 pounds of French fries or 5 pounds of chicken wings. And the weight of the cooker itself is 10.3 pounds. It's not heavy at all. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you around the cooker so that you can just see how it looks all around. So you see there on the side, there's basically nothing. Other side, basically nothing. Top, you've got air vents across the top. You can see them easier in the back, but you see the air vents across the top going around. And they're probably like intake air. Back here is usually where your air shoots out of basket air fryer. So you've got your output air there, and you've got your cord kind of there with your little guard. So that's a look around the cooker. Now I do want to say, as I progress further into this review, if it does reach a point that is not to your liking, be sure to check the chapters feature or the timestamps in the video description, and you can advance to a portion that might be more to your preference. Also, this channel has over 900 videos comprising about 90 now different countertop cookers. So you can basically check out a lot on this channel for a lot of different cookers of a lot of different types of countertop cookers. So let's move on and take a close-up view of this cooker. Alright, so now here's a close-up view of the cooker, and you see the buttons here. It'll all be lit up in a moment once I get things plugged in and using it. But you see the power button, your temp, your time, your start, pause, and your functions. And going inside, you see the air fry basket. And we see the interior of the cooker is all metal. So metal all around, metal on the bottom. That is very good for heat retention. Up top here, we see the big heating coil and the air fry fan, and the ambient probe, if I can get you, yeah, it's right there where I'm twitching my finger. That's where the ambient probe is. So that's your look inside of the cooker. Alright, and one other thing I wanted to show real quick, with the crisper rack, it has these little, like, I guess they're silicone feet on the rack on the sides. For anyone who's wondering about those are supposed to stay on. Those are supposed to be there. They aren't going to melt or anything. They're not going to be a problem. They're there to keep the metal rack from scraping the interior of the metal basket. So you want to make sure that they stay in place. Now I'm going to do some quick measurements of the cooker, just independent measure. And so the bottom here, going across, I'm seeing a little over 10 inches, so maybe 10.5 inches there. Doing the height, I'm seeing about 10.5 on the height. And let's see, front to back, I'll do to the handle, from the back to the handle. I'm seeing about 12.5 front to back like that. And let's do some measurements inside also. So basket depth is about 3.5, almost 3.5 inches. Going side to side, we've got 9 inches this way. We've got almost 9 inches that way. On the diagonal, we've got 11 inches. So those are some independent measurements there. Alright, so now we've got the Ninja Air Fryer Pro 4-in-1 next to the Ninja Crispy. Full review of this is also on the channel. And we see that the Ninja Crispy is obviously taller. And when you put the Crispy kind of in front of the Air Fryer Pro, the sides, the handles on the Crispy cause it to stick out a little further on the width side to side. However, front to back, the handle on the Air Fryer Pro makes it longer front to back. And when we look at this 4-quart container versus the 5-quart in the Ninja Air Fryer Pro, we see that the Air Fryer Pro basket is a little bigger because it's a 5-quart versus a 4-quart. Alright, so now we got the Ninja Air Fryer Pro 4-in-1 next to the Philips 2000 series 4.4 quart air fryer. And so we see the Philips is a little taller, and on the front to back, they are almost equal front to back. And as far as the width, I think that, I mean, they're really close. They're really close. Maybe, yeah, I mean, they're super close. It's hard to tell for me which is, or if either is wider. And they're real close. So keep in mind, this one is just a little smaller on the basket than the Ninja. When we pull them out, we see, I mean, it looks, even though it's supposed to be a very small difference, like a 1/6 of a quart difference, it looks much larger when you look at this 5-quart versus this 4.4 quart air fryer basket. Alright, so now it's time to do an initial plug-in. So I'm going to stick it on in here, and there's no, I guess, change or anything when you first plug things in, but I'm going to hit the power button, and it looks like things are getting drowned out. I'm going to turn the light off. Alright, so I'm going to turn things on again, just so you can see how it looks when you first hit power, and so you see everything kind of lights up there. And so now I want to talk to you about all the different functions in the cooker. And so the first function is air fry, so we can press on air fry. And air fry, they mentioned that you should preheat for 3 minutes for best results. So basically you want to, whatever time you're going to cook, add 3 minutes, and then, you know, just put it in after 3 minutes so that things preheat for better cooking is what they say. And they do say that you want to shake or toss the ingredients during the cook, and they say that you should do that to make sure that everything is real even. And so I want to do the check of the time and the temp here. So if I go up on temp, we go up to 400, and if I go down, we get down to, let's see where we go, what our minimum is for air fry. Minimum is 300, so you can get between 300 and 400 on air fry. And for time, of course, I think you can get down to 1 minute. But how high can you go? You can hold the button to have it go faster. We're up to 230 so far. So we're up to 3 hours on air fry. So 3 hours in between 300, 400 degrees Fahrenheit for air fry. Next, we'll do the roast button here. And with roast, they also mention you want to do the 3-minute preheat thing. Just let it run for 3 minutes ahead. And let's go ahead and check the time and temp ranges for roast. For roast, we can go up to 400 again, and we can go down to, see where we get. Will it be 300, or will it be lower for roast? Yeah, we're going lower for roast, so we're going below 300. Yeah, we're down to 250 for roast, so between 250 to 400 on the temp, and on time, we'll assume 1 minute, but I'm going to do it anyway. So 1 minute up to hour, 2 hours, 3, 4, up to 4 hours on roast. Now let's do reheat. On reheat, they mentioned that you basically, just reheat your food is how reheat works. There's no other special instructions. No need to preheat on your reheat. But let's check the temperature ranges. So reheat will go up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and we'll go down to, let's see, wait a sec, goes down to 300. So 300 to 400 is what you get on your reheat. Time for reheat, we go down to 1. Reheat can go up to 1 hour on reheat, which is reasonable for a reheat. Last is dehydrate. They mentioned that you can put things on the top layer on the dehydrate, but you also have the option with dehydrate of putting food underneath the crisper rack. So you can put food on the bottom layer and then put the crisper rack in, and then you can put food on top of that, so that you can do 2-layer dehydration. That's the only function where they mention doing 2 layers is dehydrate. And so I'm going to go ahead and check the time and temp ranges for dehydrate. So the minimum, let's start with the minimum, since maybe it's already near the minimum, I'm not sure. Yeah, so it goes down to, whoa, down to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. You probably can proof dough in this thing, going down to 80 degrees. And it will go up to, here we go, 195. So between 80 and 195 for time. We'll just check the minimum for dehydrate. Minimum is 1 hour. That's not 1 minute, that's 1 hour. So 1 hour up to 12 hours. So we have 1 to 12 hours is your range. And I'm just checking that minimum again to make sure that that is truly it. Yeah, 1 hour is all, the least you get on dehydrate is 1 hour. And so when you're ready to cook, of course, you hit the start button, and that start button is also like a pause button. Now I'm going to do a temperature test. I've got an oven thermometer here, so I'm going to put that in right in the middle here. I'm going to close up gently, try not to knock it over, and turn it on. And for temperature, I'm going to go up to the max of 400 on AirFry. For time, I'm going to push, I'm probably not going to use the full 30. I'll probably check it after 20 just so we see. But I'm going to go ahead and hit start. And so we'll let things go ahead and run for a while. While things are running, doing a sound decibel check. We are in the mid-50s decibels, so things are pretty audible on this basket air fryer. You're gonna, people in another room are gonna know you're air frying when you're using this for sure. Alright, so it's been running for 20 minutes. Before I open up, I'm going to just feel around, and I feel it's very cool. Everything's cool. On the side here, I keep my hand there all day. Here it's a little warmer, but I can keep my hand there as long as I want. Here it's actually hotter over here in the front or this side. In the back, other than the hot air blowing out, I can keep my hand anywhere else other than where the hot air is blowing out. The top is fairly fairly cool. Now I'm going to use my temperature gauge here, and it shows basically red is the hottest. You see the target on red is showing the hottest. White is, well, white, if things are super hot, it would show white, but nothing's white hot. Blue is the coolest, so coolest is the handle, but kind of near the top of the basket we're reading in the 124 range, so a little hot near the top of the basket. And I'm just going to go around the side, and we see around the side how things are a little hot up near the top, I guess like right around here, yeah, right there. It's just a little, I guess I didn't have my hand in the right spot, but it's a little hot right there on that spot there. Going around to the other side, let's check over here. Yeah, here we've got some, it's like there's spots that are hot and the rest is cool, and I guess if you touch the right spot you'll feel it, or if you don't, you won't. And over the top here we see in the back, top back, it's 105 like right here, and it is hot right there when I touch it. So there's this hot spot kind of in the back, whereas in the front much cooler. Then around the back, see things around the back, that's where the exhaust is, where it's really hot. Down here is cooler, so we see the difference there. But that is very interesting, seeing the thermal imaging. And so now, after over 20 minutes of running, I'm going to pull things out and see what the temperature gauge says. It says things are near 450. The cooker didn't stop or pause when I opened the door. You got to use the pause button. Whoa. Whoops. Good thing the floor is heat tolerant, so it'll be okay on the floor. But yeah, you got to use the pause button or things won't stop. So yeah, won't stop automatically with the door. Only stops with the pause button, and then you can start again. So that's how it goes. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn the cooker off, and I'm going to turn it back on. Let's see if it remembers anything. If I hit AirFry, it doesn't remember my last setting, so it doesn't remember anything. There's no memory at all on the cooker. Something else I do want to check, and I can just use the default temperature and time for this 390 20 minutes. Just want to check how making changes on the fly goes. So if I go up, yeah, I can change the time on the fly here, and it just accepts it. I can change the temperature on the fly there, and it just takes a moment, and then it beeps and accepts it. So you can change time and temperature on the fly. Alright, although the cooker is still a little warm, I'm going to do a toast test now. And I've got a couple slices of my whole wheat light sourdough bread, and a video of how to make it is here on the channel. You can put one slice in this way. One slice is buttered, the other slice is not. And they just pretty much fit like that. And so let's turn things on. I'm going to do air fry. I'm going to do 400. I'm going to try, let's see what it does in, we'll do 6 minutes of air frying. It's already a little hot in there. This bread is a little more resilient than the store-bought stuff, but we'll see what happens. Alright, so we'll see what happened in 6 minutes. And it seems like it does do a cool down at the end of a cook, so we'll see how long that runs. But it smells like the toast is very well done, so we'll see what actually happened in there in a moment. It's a pretty long cool down. Alright, well, not too long. Oh, it's pretty decent toast. Look at that. Let me get this out. Alright. So the slice with no butter, we see the cook there on the back. Of course, I know I could have flipped it over, but that's not my point here. It's just to show you what it does. So you see you got some toasting on the back, even though it didn't turn things over. and the slice with butter. You see how that looks, and on the back of it, see the butter kind of seep through and a little bit of toasting on the back. Alright, so going to make some buckwheat flour waffles for an air fry. Kind of bake test. It doesn't have a bake function, but we're going to see how it does with something that is usually baked anyway. And so this is my buckwheat flour waffle batter. I'll flash the recipe on the screen. And I've got a silicone waffle mold here that I'll be using. And so I'm going to go ahead and preheat things before I put the mold in the batter in. So I'm going down to 350 on temperature. I'm going to use the air fry function. For time, I'm going to do 13 minutes because I would usually, for something this size and for how it's performing, about 10 minutes and see how that goes. So I'm going to do 13 minutes. I'm going to hit start and going to go ahead and let it count down until it gets to 10. Once it gets to 10, I'll put things in. Alright, so I'm going to hit pause here. 10 minutes left. I'm going to move it back a little so that I can make sure I can get the basket out without any issues and pour my batter in and such without any hassles. Hoping that it's not too close to the wall as far as the exhaust. I'm going to go ahead and pour the waffle batter in now. Alright, that's about enough for one there. This batter will make about 2 of them, but we'll make one here with you. I'm just kind of smoothing out the batter to get it even inside of here across all the different sections of waffle mold. So that's pretty good. We'll go with that. So I'm going to close on up, and now I'll move it forward a little bit and hit start. We'll let that go ahead and cook. Alright, so it's coming into the final seconds. I'll let it do its cool down. Alright, I know I could go in there before the cool down ends, but I just wanted to let it run. And so let's see what we got here. Yeah, it feels done. So 10 minutes is a good time. When I made up this recipe, I made it to be able to finish in about that time. So that's good. And you see the finished waffle. So turned out well, and you saw the back side was not like overcooked or anything. So good deal. Alright, so now for an air fry test. I've got about 8 ounces of mushrooms here, and I'm going to do them here in the Ninja with a quick air fry, and we'll see how it does air frying these. So hitting the air fry button, they recommend to do 390 for 5 to 10 minutes, so I'm going to bring it down to, let's say 8. We'll do 8 minutes. But actually you're supposed to preheat, so let's do 11. And when it gets down to 8, I'll put them on in. So we'll let it run its first 3 minutes. Alright, so I'm hitting pause. I'm going to put the mushrooms in. These are baby Bella mushrooms. They're going in here. Got some extra light olive oil and some organic no salt seasoning on them. So we'll let those go ahead and cook. I'm just going to toss things around a bit. Things are getting really well done in there. It looks good. So I think I might bring it down a couple minutes. So that way it's gone for 6 instead of 8. I think they're looking pretty well cooked, so 6 will be fine. Alright, we'll give things a moment to cool down. Alright, see what we have. Pretty good air fried mushrooms there. they turned out pretty well. I'm just going to basically dump them out into this bowl. So they look pretty good. Pretty good job. Now I want to talk to you about cleaning the cooker. And when cleaning, they give you some obvious tips, such as don't immerse the main unit in water. You can't put it in the dishwasher, of course. But the crisper plate, they say, is dishwasher safe or hand washable. And the same for the basket. It's dishwasher safe or hand washable. They do mention for the basket, if you want to maintain the life of the basket longer, then you'd want to hand wash that. I personally plan on hand washing everything. And of course, you don't want to use anything abrasive. Just use like a warm soapy rag, warm soapy like dishcloth, wipe things off, and then a wet one to wipe things off, dry things off after that, and you should be good to go with that. They also mentioned that you can soak the crisper plate or the basket if you need to, if anything gets really stuck on there hard. So let's talk about the warranty. The cooker comes with a 1-year warranty, which is pretty standard. And we see that it took care of everything that we threw at it. It did a good job. So it's a good versatile cooker. And so nothing in this video is sponsored, nothing given to me. I prefer things that way. And you can check out in the video description lots of ways to help the channel, such as my cookbook, merch, membership, donations, link to the Amazon shop where you pay the same price, help the channel. Also, there's a buy me a coffee link as well. And you can also check out my blog, superwaveovenrecipes.com. Again, that's superwaveovenrecipes.com. And with all that said, if you did like the video, please do give it a thumbs up, share the video with a friend, leave your comments, subscribe, hit that notification icon, and good eating.